So this is Lanieyah. I call Lanieyah my warrior baby. So this story might make me cry because the beginning of it really sucks, but she's amazing. My God, she's amazing. I got pregnant and I found out when I was maybe 8 weeks. I went to a clinic in Hialeah to get an abortion, a not a surgical, a medical abortion. That's what they call it. And they gave me some pills and told me to go home. Stick the pills up yourself, and in 48 hours, a fetus should come out. I said, okay, went home, cried about it, took my shot, inserted my pills, and thought everything was over. 48 hours, there was no blood. I went back to the clinic. They said, oh, just wait. A week later, nothing there. I said, okay, man, it was Hialeah. They did something wrong. I'm going to go somewhere else. I went to another clinic, and might I mention both of these clinics now, both of their offices say for lease outside. So I don't think they were clinics at all. Went to the next supposedly women's care clinic. They did the same thing, gave me pills. At the time, I wasn't aware that you're supposed to have an ultrasound before an abortion, because I've never done this before. I didn't get any of that. So I gave me the pills again. I went home and did it again a second time. Now, after the second 48-hour period, I noticed that I was bleeding a lot, way more than my normal period amount. This brought red flags to me and made me know that something was wrong. There was definitely still something going on here. I was traumatized out of my mind and tried in my own ways to make the baby go away. I prayed. I went a week without eating. Like literally, I reached out to Tiffy and I was in tears and I told her that more than anything else, I was disappointed in myself. I had just turned 21 and 4 kids was not on my agenda at all. 1 kid wasn't on my agenda and I got 4. And I felt I was disappointed in myself. And I didn't go anywhere. I didn't speak to anyone. I didn't want to give birth. I didn't want to do parenting again. Not that I ever stopped. I just didn't want to go through it all over again. And I met with Jamarah around maybe my 5 or 6 month mark. And we had a real conversation. And the realest thing that anyone could have asked, Jamarah asked. And she said, now that you're here and we're discussing this, what is it that you want to do? And for me, that was something that I didn't think anyone else cared about. No one had any care or concern for how I was going to feel before or after, especially my family, who had only concerns with their selves and how they felt about the situation. So after I had my mental check and I was able to bring myself to the reality that I was comfortable with, I decided that I was going to have my baby and do everything that I needed to do to make sure that she was healthy, and she came out amazing. I felt as if, as a parent, that I neglected her in the beginning, and this made my entire pregnancy scary because I felt like something was going to be wrong with her. I felt like she was going to come out with 10 eyes and 27 toes, and I just was not prepared. Like when she was born, the first thing I asked Jamarah was, is she okay? And I was nowhere near prepared for her to tell me yes. So the picture that Jamarah is sharing is a blessing way that that the Southern Birth Justice Network threw for me, just to give me the assurance that although I didn't feel deserving, that I was. And it wasn't like annoying baby shower, big chairs, balloons, people who just come to eat your food. Like, This was literally a time where it was about me and making sure my energy was centered when it was time to bring this warrior into the world. And that's why I named her Leia, because my entire pregnancy was a battle. Towards the end of my pregnancy, I had to go through Dr. Spence telling me that my iron was too low to deliver in a birth center and that I would have to go to North Shore Hospital. X marks the spot, Dr. Spence. I quickly asked Jamarah what were the things that I needed to do on my end to ensure that my health was up to par. For maybe 2 months, I was going back and forth to North Shore doing infusions, because transfusion is blood. My amazing doula Tiffy put me on a iron boot camp. I'm talking about I was cooking everything in a cast iron pan. I was eating granola. Everything was beef, 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 and spinach all day. I can't even smell spinach now, but I still have to eat it because I'm trying to breastfeed effectively. And these are literally the things that made everything possible for me. The difference for me personally between the birth center and being in the hospital was in the moment you realize where your strength is. During my own birth, and my midwives and my doulas, everyone who's around me during birth is my witness. I scream bloody murder. I want to go home. I want all the pain meds, all the relief. I don't want any of it. I want to be in bliss. And the only time where you really realize that you want that relief is when it's almost over. And literally, I want to say it had to be, I was screaming for the epidural for 5 minutes, and Jamarah said, "For what? You're done." I said, "What are you talking about, lady? I just want to go right now. I got to go right now." And she said, "Okay, Lanieyah, I hear what you're saying, but I'm going to give you a minute, okay?" And I said, "Okay." And my one tear fell. And I said, "Has it been a minute yet?" And 5 minutes later, my baby and came out like a poop. And in that moment, all I could feel was the strength that was being poured into me from the time that I encountered my midwife and my doula. All the support that you feel prenatal, a lot of times almost feels like a brush over until you're in labor, when you're not even realizing that you're putting everything that you were taught into action. Everything that your doula was saying, everything that your midwife is giving, all the support that you need is there. As to in a hospital where you're connected to a bunch of crap like a science experiment, someone is walking in and out of your room every 5 minutes, and there's no sense, there's no love to me. In a hospital, there's no love, there's no affection, there's no, "I just need a hug right now." There's no, "Give me a minute, I have to do this at my own pace." And that is one of the most important things during labor and during birth, is just being able to identify your own strength. Because once you're able to identify your own strength, you take that strength that everyone has been pouring into you and you use it for the biggest moment, which is pushing out your baby. And once that's done, you're in bliss.
May of 2019, I think it was Mother's Day to be exact. Well, it was the day before Mother's Day, and I had felt contractions the night of. It was around 9, and then my water broke, and then my dad came to get me, and he took me to the hospital he had been doing security for at Jackson Hospital. So I went to Jackson, and when I got there, there was an all-white staff there when I had to register. It took them forever to give me my information, to even come and see me and check my vitals and everything like that. It took up until for me to a whole bunch of blood just came out for them to finally like tell me like, okay, now we have to check for vitals and stuff like that. So while I'm just sticky full of blood. Give me a second.
Wow.
I'm sticky full of blood, and now they want to check my vitals, and now they want to, you know, check my weight and stuff like that and make sure I'm okay. So after that, more blood comes out, and at this point, my boyfriend at the time is just like panicking, like he's mad, he's irritated because now they waited up until this point to want to check me. So now I'm in the room, and they have me changing my clothes. By this time, the contractions are getting worse, and I'm telling the nurse after I done passed the baby and all the few blood clots, I feel the baby out on the it's like a little ball. I told her I pushed it out, and she's constantly telling me like, no, that's not the baby. I'm like, ma'am, like I literally just pushed the baby out. I need a different pad. I need to change because I know the baby's on the pad. So after me trying to convince her and tell her for 10 minutes, she finally checks and then she leaves. Nobody says nothing to me. Nobody does anything. Another doctor comes in and then rolls up the pad. I'm like, okay, is somebody going to tell me whether or not it's the baby, or do you even know if I want to see it, if I want to, you know, have a moment, if I want to, you know, talk or anything, if I want to cry? Like, nobody's going to tell me anything. They were just going to roll up the baby, do whatever, and I guess dispose of it how they were supposed to. So I guess my boyfriend said something, and the lady was like, yeah, this is a baby and all that stuff. So he was like, can we get a moment to at least, you know, talk and stuff like that? So she left the room. She came back. They changed my sheets and stuff like that, and they moved me to another room. Up until when they changed me to the other room, I didn't get no kind of help or no kind of guidance up until it was time for me to be discharged the next day. They kept me overnight for observation, but the only kind of information I got was a Black nurse, and she was a little older than me. She looked like she could possibly be like my mom's age. And the only thing she told me is that, you know, if you want to have another baby, please tell them that you miscarried in between 15 and 17 weeks and stuff like that. No doctor told me that, and both my doctors were white. Nobody said anything about that to me. They gave me medicine. They told me that they would come in and check on me, which they didn't. Only the Black nurse did. And that was that. She's the one who gave me my depo and things like that. She gave me information. She told me where I should go. She told me how I should go about the procedure, because she told me because of what happened to my body and how they caught on to it, that I would need to go to the doctor and tell them like, hey, I miscarried in between this week and this week. So I do need, you know, for you to give me some kind of shot or to be seen every week. I didn't get that kind of information. Nobody volunteered anything like that. And I felt like they were just trying to sweep under the rug that I had a miscarriage, like I don't have feelings. And I don't feel that was fair.
You guys mind if I share a document with you guys? Um, just for us to look over. This is a beautiful document that Jamarah created with Hagi, the Southern Birth Justice Network, in correlation with National Black Midwives, National Black Midwives Alliance, and this is the Birth Justice Bill of Rights.
It says, as a Black preconception, pregnant, birthing, or postpartum person, I have the right to stand against racism, know my history and resist institutional racism, honor my values, express my culture, develop a network of safety and support, represent my Blackness, care for all my identities, protection from violence, understand my health, respect my family structure, comprehensive care after I give birth, support from my doula, access to everything I need to be healthy, support in reducing stress, inclusion in the decisions that affect me, ensure access to all birth care options, honor the natural birth process, support my baby's right to human milk, get a second opinion, advocate for my rights, time to heal and bond, and to recognize that my body is always mine. Does anybody else have an experience or something that they can relate to any of these Bill of Rights, whether they were acknowledged in a positive light or whether they were acknowledged in a negative way, whether it's something that someone can learn from an experience that you went through with the situation, just anything that you have that relates to any of these rights?
Thank you. I was having a hard time finding that. Hi again, my name is Yamesse, and I just wanted to share my birthing experience. The reason why I'm scared to give birth again, because I went to a hospital. I was pregnant with twins, and I don't usually tell my story, and I don't usually say anything. I just kind of sit back here and listen. But I was pregnant in twins, and I was delivering at Jackson North Hospital. Yeah. Going the day of, I was having contractions, and I was 15 years old. I didn't know what was going on. I just knew my stomach was just turning red. It wasn't supposed to turn red. I can see the baby figures through my stomach, and I'm trying to like relay that to the doctors and nurses, but they're not actually listening to a 15-year-old. They're just trying to hurry up. And I'm trying to explain to them or let them know that the baby is moving, and it's moving weird, and you guys are prepping me to push, but there's something going on down here, and I don't know what's going on down here, but I know that whatever's going on down there is not supposed to work. So me trying to tell them that no one is listening, they're all still trying to prep me to push. Is so then I had to tell my mom's friend to, hey, please get them to listen to me. Something's not going right, because they was not listening to me. So I had to tell somebody else to tell them that something is not going right. So after that, she took my mom's friend, told them, and she checked me, and that they realized that the first baby was already coming, in which I was trying to let them know that I felt it. Like I didn't know what I was feeling. I didn't have this experience. My pregnancy, I stayed in the house. I went to Cope and came home. I didn't really go anywhere. So it's like, I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing afterwards, just what older people were telling me I was supposed to do, I guess. Like my mom and my grandma, my aunties. So it was just me and my mom's friend in the room who was there. And I'm trying to like elaborate or tell them that something's not going on right. The baby's right here. And then after she checked me, she realized that the baby is coming. Like 3 minutes later, I have a C-section. And again, I don't know what's going on. No one's telling me anything. When I came, I remember the C-section a little bit. I remember them saying something was going wrong with the baby. I remember just in and out, just it going in and out. And when I came to, and I only seen one baby. I only seen my baby father with one baby, and like a whole lot of stuff is coming to my head, because I remember the last thing I remember was the nurse saying, "Stay with the baby." And then when I woke up, that was it. So when I woke up and I'm looking for another baby, or the second baby, because I knew I was supposed to have two, and he's only holding one girl, and I'm like, what's going on? Where is the other baby? Where is the baby? And no one could really answer me. Like, no one really told me anything. Till this day, I honestly don't know what happened. I literally honestly don't know what happened, because my baby father, he was told to stay with the girl, the first one that came out, and the second one that came out was just a blur. I don't remember it. When baby daddy wasn't in the room, so he couldn't tell me what was going on. Hospital, I kept asking. All I know is I had to sign a birth and a death certificate that day for the child. I had to name it. It was like, you gotta hurry up and do this, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you gotta sign that. What's the baby's name? This and that. Like, they were just rushing me. And like she said, my baby's godfather is the head of Jackson. So once he came in and was like, well, what the hell is going on here? What's going on here? Why? I'm crying right now. Nobody's not telling me anything. Don't know what my baby daddy's doing with the baby. They're trying to get the baby to come to me, and I don't want it. I just want to know what happened to my baby. And they're like, you have to calm me down until they put me out or something. And I came back again, all, I won't say even more madder, but I came back even more, like, more aggressive. Like, this time I want to know. This time you guys are gonna tell me. This time is like, it's just that. And all they seen was me angry. So it's just like that didn't help at Jackson. With that being said, I did lose a child, and I'm so terrified of having another one, not even at a hospital or maybe even home or at a birthing center. It traumatized me. I do not want to have any more kids after that.
It sounds like to me that number 15 was violated for you to be included in the decisions that affect you and your body and your baby. It sounds like having number 12 was violated for you. It sounds like number 2 was violated for you. It sounds like number 3 was violated for you. It sounds like number 18 was violated for you. You had a lot of violations, and I hold that space for you, and I recognize that happened to you, and I want to know how I can help you, how we can help you, how we can help you build a network of support to be able to heal.
I mean, we already don't have really like high expectations. We just have high hopes of how, you know, things will go. But now my expectations are very high. I need the best doula. I need the best midwife. I need to feel like Meredith freaking Gray just gave me my baby. That this is the best day of, like, no. At first, like, you know, I'm a kid already, so I don't know what to do, what to ask for, what not to ask for, what not to be given. I was basically almost forced upon epidural, even though I said I didn't want it. Thank God my mama was there, because if she wasn't, they probably still would have gave it to me. The lady even came in with the needle and everything. It was like, oh, we're going to give her epidural. My mom had to basically fight this thing off for this epidural that I did not want, that I told my mom ahead of time that I did not want. So stuff like this, it shouldn't happen. Like stuff like this, it feels, this is a problem for me. And because I know, like, it's possible, and because I know this probably won't end, that I know other girls that are young and will get pregnant, will go through stuff like this. It doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't put me at ease. It just makes me mad.
From a family where having a baby at a young age is abnormal, and it's like everybody in the family wants to tell you how to raise your child, which I get, and I'm going to take advice from anybody who had a child before me, because like I said, first child, don't know how to go with this. I'm gonna cry with you because I don't know, right? So it's just like the only person who would give me advice but not try to control my parenting was my grandma, rest in peace. And it was just like other people, they can't do that for me. You cannot just disregard my whole schedule I have for my child. If I say I don't want my child to eat that, I don't want my child to eat that. It doesn't have to. And it's like, that's what I'm battling right now. One doctor's office told me I had to be emancipated to go there because I was still under, I was 15. I was still 15 trying to take my daughter to the doctor's places. And it was like, you can't bring her here. You're a kid yourself. You have to be emancipated. You got to show you're on a birth certificate or stuff like that. And I'm like, emancipation? To bring my daughter to the doctor that the hospital told me to bring? Like, it was just not making any sense. And it's like, it's a lot of people out there that I know personally that's not gonna have another child like me because of what they went through. And it's like, I don't know what to tell them because I'm in the same boat, in the same ocean.
I want to just take a moment to recognize how hard parenting is, how hard mothering is, and the fact that before we have babies, no one tells us this. It's hard and it really, really hurts, but it's also very beautiful.
Yes. I saw a post on the internet that is very relatable to this moment. I'm trying to find it. And the post is a picture of a woman holding a baby. And it says, women are not born knowing how to care for a newborn. It is learned one cry at a time. You are a good mom. And that touched my soul on a different level because I can remember for everyone who's just getting here or can't remember, I got them things. So I can remember every single time with one of them things that I sat down with the baby in my hand and just let my tears cry at the same time that theirs cried. And I just had to let them know, dog, we gonna get through this, but I gotta cry while you cry right now, because I can't do nothing if I can't function. And if I can't function, you can't function. Somehow we gotta let it out together. And I feel like it's a shitty stigma for a lot of moms to feel like they can't cry, or to feel like you can't scream because you're a parent. Nah, you gonna scream and I'm gonna scream. We gonna scream together, but I'm gonna be better when I'm better. And then I'll be a 10 times better mom than I was before I screamed.